Cars are expensive, fuel is expensive, even electricity, which was supposed to make EVs a cheaper alternative, is also getting expensive. It's a hard knock life. But seriously, it's increasingly difficult to buy a new family car and not spend a fortune. What's your definition of a family car and a fortune? Drop me a comment below. Now, these here are my 10 suggestions of brand new family cars which are still, barely, under 25,000 euro. $25,000 nowadays is really the entry-level price for a new compact car in Europe. I added several B crossovers as well, but no super minis as we're looking for something a bit more versatile. For this video, I use prices available on the manufacturer's websites in Germany. These prices are accurate at the time of recording, which is mid-January 2023. If in a few months you'll find a better deal, you're right. Or maybe the prices will go up. Don't come crying to me. Prices change usually not in the direction we'd like. I list cars in alphabetical order, and if there were several models up to $25,000 from one brand, I picked the one which I think is the most interesting. This is only my opinion, and this video is supposed to be an inspiration in your search for a car which will meet your criteria, not mine. We're starting off with a car which is inspired by you. The current generation of Citroën C4 is designed according to the brand's new philosophy, inspired by you. Everything is supposed to be different, everything is supposed to feel good, and everything is supposed to be focused on the users. For less than 23,000 euro, you can get a compact car with a crossover and coupe looks. Basically, Citroën came out with a Peugeot 408 2 years earlier. There's a 380-liter boot with a double floor, decent ground clearance, good space for rear passengers, and so-called advanced comfort seats for the driver and the front passenger. There's enough physical switchgear to keep traditional buyers happy, good storage, and Citroën's progressive hydraulic cushions, which make the ride ultra comfortable. The only option on the base spec is the paint color. If you want more, you'll have to cross the $25,000 threshold, albeit by just 10 euro. So think about it. Also, this is a lot of car for the money. Euro NCAP safety rating for 2021 Citroën C4 is 4 stars out of 5. Our next contender is somewhat controversial. It's the Dacia Jogger. It's the cheapest 7-seater on the market and probably the cheapest 5-seater with so much cargo space. But there is a but. First of all, the Jogger is in fact a stretched Dacia Sandero, so a super mini. However, since I'm taking into account B crossovers, I will also take a B Estate or a B van. Secondly, the Dacia Jogger only got 1-star Euro NCAP rating, and this is supposed to be a family car. To be fair, the Euro NCAP appraisal of this car is also controversial because it is based on the Dacia Sandero, which got 2 stars out of 5. The Jogger didn't undergo crash tests as such, and it lost a star for lack of seatbelt sensors in the 3rd row. The Dacia fanboys claim the seatbelt sensors in the 3rd row don't make the Jogger any less safe in terms of crash protection, and Dacia representatives say the Jogger is the safest car in the brand's history. I agree with both arguments. However, if you want to play chess, you don't follow the checkers rules. Also, the Jogger may be the safest Dacia ever, but this is a bar set very low. Safety costs money. If you need a big boot or 7 seats on the cheap, nobody can touch the Jogger. Even people carrier versions of small vans are now more expensive. Base Jogger with factory autogas installation starts at 16,800 euro, 400 more for the regular petrol. If you want to go all out, you'll probably max out at around 22,000 euro. In my review, I suggest what options are worth choosing in my opinion. Just remember, rock bottom price comes at the expense of safety. I was quite surprised to see the prices of the Hyundai i30 start at just 21,650 euro for the Estate. The hatchback is even cheaper. This kind of money gets you either the base spec 1-liter turbo 120 horsepower or the second trim level with a 48-volt mild hybrid. The i30 is comfortable, relatively analog, and if you don't choose the mild hybrid, you'll get a 600-liter boot. The mild hybrid battery does take up some space. 5 stars in Euro NCAP tests. Although the Kia Ceed is more expensive, the i30 budget is enough to get you started with the Kia Stonic B crossover. €21,650 gets you a base spec 1.2-liter normally aspirated engine, and for €24,850 you can even get a double clutch transmission. If there are some emissions-based taxes in your area, you can get a mild hybrid just below 25 grand. Depending on the market, there may be some sort of optional safety pack available. That's what gives the Stonic 5 stars Euro NCAP rating. Without it, it's a 3-star car. In Germany, Stonic comes with satellite navigation as standard, which means wired Android Auto. For some reason, wireless Android Auto only works in cars without SatNav. Below 25 grand, you get a car which uses around 6 liters per 100 kilometers combined. It's got hydraulic bump stops like the Citroën C4, physical switchgear, and 4 adults should fit inside in relative comfort. At 350 liters, the boot is as big as in the 2012 Mercedes A-Class. And there are cool two-tone color options, which will make your Stonic stand out from the crowd. One of my favorite cars of 2022, the Opel Astra, barely made it on the list with the €24,600 price tag for the business edition. It's not on the price list as such, but it's on the Opel DE website at the time of recording. You get a 1.2-liter 110 horsepower PSA petrol engine. Red paint is included. And you can still get a front collision warning for €400. It's not as practical or as spacious as that Citroën C4, but it's a more conservative choice. It's not much, but it's a red hatch. €5 NCAP stars. A more interesting proposition might be the Renault Captur, soon to be available also as the Mitsubishi ASX. A substantial 422-liter boot, and that's before you slide the rear seats. Slide them forward and you get almost 540 liters and no legroom in the back. But perhaps you're carrying small children and you need more space in the boot for the stroller. Then the Captur is your car. Price of the Renault Captur start at €23,700 for the base Equilibre spec, and you can climb up one trim to Evolution for €24,550. That gets you a 90 horsepower petrol engine with a manual transmission. 5-star safety rating. Seat is another brand that surprised me with a compact estate below €25,000. Barely, but you can pick up a reference trim with a 90 horsepower 1-liter TSI motor for €24,750. If you go for the hatch, your 25 grand will get you 20 more horsepower. The seats are comfortable, the driving position is excellent, although thick A-pillars affect visibility, but this is how Seat scores 5 stars in Euro NCAP. In the hatch, the boot volume is 380 liters, up to 620 liters in the estate. There are decent cup holders, a place for your smartphone, USB ports, small storage under the armrest, and medium-sized glove box. Not much more for the rock-bottom price, but it's a car with a big boot. But if you think Dacia is the only value for money proposition on my list, think again and behold the Skoda Scala. Starting at €19,990, the Scala is on a Super Mini platform, but its external dimensions are very much compact. Even if we say it's a B estate, it still fits the list. For 25 grand, you can go as high as mid-trim with a 1-liter 110 horsepower engine. In the base active trim, you can even get a 7-speed DSG, and there is still some wiggle room for options. As standard, you get a 467-liter boot. You get more only on the Captur and the Jogger, but in the Scala, you get the boot space and the legroom for the rear passengers. The driving position is quite high, visibility is good, and the seats are comfortable. I recall the Scala was also relatively quiet. The Scala has a 5-star safety rating. The Rough Roads pack for €150 gets you a 12mm lift and some underbody protection, ideal for some less than perfect rural roads. A car I nearly forgot existed is the SsangYong Tivoli, and yes, you can have it for way less than €25,000. Let me get this out of the way. I don't think SsangYong Tivoli is a particularly appealing car, and in higher trim, it's just too expensive. But the low trim is so cheap that it makes this large B crossover an attractive proposition. For 25k, you can get not only the regular Tivoli, but even the base spec Tivoli Grand with a larger boot. SsangYong is like Kia or Hyundai from 10 years ago. It seems to offer a lot, but when you think you could spend a bit more and drive something modern, the appeal fades. But it's the same deal with Dacia. The SsangYong Tivoli is powered by a 1.5-liter 163 horsepower engine. The boot can have up to 400 liters capacity, but not if you choose a spare wheel or all-wheel drive. The Tivoli received a 4-star Euro NCAP rating, but it was so long ago the result has expired. Last but not least on my list is the Volkswagen T-Roc. I know you can get more car in the form of T-Cross or Taygo, but I think the T-Roc is the one to go for, even if you cross the 25,000 euro budget. It's basically what Golf used to be before VW went all digital. For 24,345 euro, you can choose white or grayish paint. All other colors are too expensive, unfortunately, but App Connect for 225 euro will allow you to connect your smartphone and use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. 6 speakers for 120 euro may also be an option worth considering with your media connectivity. There's a decent boot and not much space for the rear passengers. It's much better in the front. It's a nice package, even with a 1-liter engine. As you can see, finding a new family car for 25,000 euro or less is not easy. In my opinion, some of the above suggestions can be made much better with just a few options, which means exceeding the 25,000 euro limit, but that's your call to make. Are you looking for a family car? What's your budget? What body style are you looking for? Maybe you found a great deal on a car. Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, I'll be making more listicles like this and posting them every last Friday of the month. If you have an idea or a suggestion what cars I should put on the list, let me know below this video. Maybe it'll be the subject of one of the future videos. If you like my sarcastic, down-to-earth and possibly mildly amusing car reviews, join me every Friday at 3 p.m. Central European Time, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video, as it helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.